blame it on my loyalty. That's what it all is right there, and that comes from me being me. The only people you could say I looked up to was Baby and Slim, and I guess I saw how they stay loyal to each other.
Wayne is my favorite person to work with, though, because it's just, ooh, Lil Wayne, he's just too good.
You gotta give Wayne the love.
He's just too good.
This is my, I'm shooting my footage.
Oh, this is you? Oh, yeah.
Oh.
I was about to be like, yo, son, but it's you. So.
My God, neighbors, y'all gotta get in here and check this out. Lil Wayne just had a show out in Vegas, and during his set, his DJ mixed in Kendrick Lamar's Not Like Us. Now, while he made some lyrical changes to the song, rapping They Don't Like Us, They Don't Like Us, this still made a lot of headlines.
It's really starting to feel like everyone who was once close to Drake is now turning their backs on him. Who would have thought we'd see the day when even his Young Money family, the very people who helped launch him into superstardom, would publicly distance themselves from him? Lil Wayne, Nicki Minaj, and Drake used to be the ultimate trio during the Young Money glory days, cranking out hit after hit. Their chemistry wasn't just limited to the studio. Wayne and Drake were like brothers, while Drake and Nicki shared such a close bond that the internet speculated for years that there might have been something more than just friendship between them. But times have definitely changed, and now it seems like Wayne and Nicki are joining the growing list of people distancing themselves from Drake. There's a growing list of people who have had enough of Drake. His die-hard fans argue that this just proves all those folks were fake friends from the start, and that Drake is the real victim here. However, others are quick to point out that Drake has engaged in some questionable behavior himself. Remember when he allegedly hooked up with Lil Wayne's girlfriend while Wayne was in jail? And then there were those times he got close to people who only brought drama into Nicki Minaj's life. Despite all that, Wayne and Nicki stayed loyal to him. But in true Drake fashion, Drake couldn't resist stirring the pot, constantly sneak dissing and pulling shady stunts online. The latest drama involves Drake dropping a massive 100 GB of content, but what really caught everyone's attention was his surprising decision to collaborate with Nicki Minaj's longtime rival. Fans are starting to connect the dots, and they're saying that if Drake is beefing with the entire industry and losing friends left and right, maybe just maybe he's the common denominator in all this drama. But what exactly did Wayne and Nicki say when they decided to distance themselves from Drake? Are they really blaming him for the downfall of Young Money? Let's dive in and find out.
I do know how to lead. I do know how to bring people together, and I also do know how to better them.
Now, how old were you when you had...
We started the squad without even about
The rise and fall of Young Money. Back in the early 2010s, Lil Wayne's Young Money label was on the brink of dominating the music industry. They had an impressive lineup of talent, featuring both established stars and fresh faces ready to make a name for themselves. However, things didn't go as planned, and now Young Money is nearly defunct. Most of the big names from the label have either started their own ventures or signed better deals elsewhere, where they don't have to share profits with Young Money and Cash Money. What made Young Money so special was its focus on young, hungry artists. As an offshoot of the larger Cash Money label, Young Money was Lil Wayne's brainchild during his peak. He attracted a lot of talent simply because of the superstar he was. For those aged 25 to 35, especially in the South, Lil Wayne was like their generation's Jay-Z. With that kind of influence, he brought together a trio of young artists who, if they had stayed together, could have gone down as the greatest label crew of all time. Aside from Lil Wayne himself, the trio I'm talking about, of course, includes Drake, Nicki Minaj, and another talented artist. Drake had superstar written all over him from day one. It was clear early on that he was destined for greatness, thanks to his unique mix of rapping and singing that appealed to a wide audience. Drake brought in a huge female fan base and appealed to the backpack crowd that was popular back then. His presence alone boosted Young Money's reputation and success. Then, there's Nicki Minaj. She needs no introduction. She dominated the mainstream as the leading female rapper for nearly a decade and could outperform 95% of the men in the game. As for Tyga, he was a massive star at one point, but somehow Young Money fumbled with him. There was a time when Tyga was on track to be mentioned alongside rap heavyweights. His 2012 and 2013 albums, Careless World, Rise of the Last King, and Hotel California showcased just how much potential he had. But Tyga wasn't the only artist Young Money mishandled. Let's talk about Jay Mills. He was a rapper's rapper, straight out of New York, known for his rap battles and lyrical skills. The problem was, he couldn't create songs that people wanted to replay. In an industry full of talented rappers, just being good wasn't enough. At any given time, you could say that any of the other artists on Young Money had the potential to become big or blow up. You can really say that about any artist today. But in reality, not everyone makes it to the top, and Young Money's track record reflects that. Not everyone has that star quality, and that's a key issue Young Money faced. One of the major problems that likely contributed to the label's downfall was the sheer number of artists they had signed. They had a lot of talent on the roster, but in trying to push Lil Wayne, Drake, Nicki Minaj, and Tyga to the forefront, they ended up neglecting many of their other artists. The label was so focused on promoting their biggest stars that they didn't have the time or resources to properly develop and release projects for artists like Jay Mills, Corey Gunz, Christina Milian, Euro, Flo, Gouda Gouda, Lil Twist, Lil Chucky, Glasses Malone, or even Omarion. And that's not even the entire roster. Lil Wayne and the other people running Young Money likely saw potential in all of these artists, but signing them to record deals and then not doing anything with them was probably one of the main reasons Young Money eventually fell apart. As for why the powerhouse trio of Lil Wayne, Drake, and Nicki Minaj crumbled, it appears there's something much more personal that went down. It seems Wayne. Nicki Minaj and Lil Wayne eventually realized that Drake wasn't as loyal to them as they had been to him. This all came to light after Drake broke a major code of friendship. Drake and Lil Wayne share a deep history, and in the early 2010s, they, along with Nicki Minaj, were the ultimate hip-hop trio, delivering hit after hit under the Cash Money and Young Money labels. During that time, Drake and Wayne were extremely close, with Drake frequently praising Wayne and calling him the greatest of all time. However, things took a drastic turn in March 2010 when Wayne was sentenced to a year in prison after pleading guilty to gun possession. He ended up serving 8 months of his sentence at Rikers Island. While Wayne was locked up, rumors started circulating that Drake had allegedly hooked up with Wayne's then-girlfriend, Tammy Torres. In 2015, TMZ released a shocking report, which they later removed, claiming that Wayne was so furious about Drake sleeping with his girlfriend that he was ready to physically confront him. According to the report, Wayne revealed this in a book proposal he sent out to publishers. In the proposal, Wayne supposedly wrote that while he was in Rikers, Drake came to visit him and admitted that he had already slept with Tammy, advising Wayne to stop seeing her. Wayne wrote that this was the kind of news a man never wants to hear while he's locked up, adding that it was the worst thing he could have found out. Despite the betrayal, when Wayne later addressed this incident in an interview with Hip Hollywood, he claimed that he didn't hold a grudge against Drake. Road to Now, and Kendrick Lamar decided to stir things up by reminding Lil Wayne of how Drake betrayed him. In his track, Not Like Us, Kendrick called out Drake for allegedly sleeping with Wayne's girlfriend. He also mentioned that Drake got a tattoo of Wayne's face on his left tricep back in 2017, about 2 years after Wayne revealed the betrayal in his book proposal. Kendrick seems to suggest that while the tattoo might look like a tribute, it doesn't really hold up, given the role Drake allegedly played in hurting his mentor.